So, the knower of truth, the enlightenment practitioner, is in a state of perfect equilibrium even when he is not practicing meditation. This is one of the side effects of following a spiritual path, is you get into your spiritual practices, which become very important. You've got to be committed to them. But what happens is they become important and other things become a bit of a nuisance, a bit of a distraction. And we don't like that. We don't like these distractions. We've got to focus. We've got to get on with our spiritual practice. We've got to get on with being spiritual. The knower of truth, the enlightenment practitioner, isn't concerned with any of that, because meditation is an ongoing thing. This is the practice. Enlightenment practice is the meditation. It's not something separate from what is going on. So he's like, or she's like, the waters of a pool, which are undisturbed when there are no outlets. We're not having our sense of being siphoned off by all the stuff that's apparently going on. This is the meditation, is coming back to our sense of being. It's being centered. It's being at the center. Not being out there or in here. In here is as far away as out there, because in here is all the feelings and sensations that are going on, which we create stories about. And these stories are much subtler than you might imagine. The stories of an external world, which deep down we believe in. Even if you try to suspend belief for a while, you think, well, okay, I'll go along with what this guy's saying, but I know there's a real world here, a real world going on out there. So let's look at this. The object is mental activity. And in parentheses it says the object is externalized mental activity. Well, I don't think we need this word externalized, because the mental activity, by virtue of itself, creates the externalization. So the object is mental activity, and mental activity is the impression formed in intelligence by the object. Just as the same water flows in different streams with different names till it reaches the ocean, the same consciousness is both the diverse objects and the corresponding mental action. This seems a little bit heavy, doesn't it? But it's just describing what goes on. If you think of what happens in a dream is formed by mental activity. Objects in the dream are formed by mental activity. And mental activity is the impression formed in intelligence by the object. And the things which happen in dreams create reactions in us, don't they? We start having emotional experiences, usually one of embarrassment perhaps. So this is it, isn't it? This is what happens in a dream. And the same mechanism applies in what we call real life or waking life. It's consciousness. It's consciousness. Within consciousness there's this mental activity going on, which is the movement of the attention. There's stuff going on, and it's going on regardless. This is it. But there's the attention which arises within that stuff going on, and that attention can go from one aspect of the stuff to other aspects of the stuff, and this is the externalization. We start building up ideas about that stuff. Is it far? Is it near? Here we've got space, notions of space, notions of distance, and this gives us a sense of externalization, that there's something out there. But it's just the attention. It's the cognitive process doing its thing, and we can step back from it. The object and the mind are thus non-different. Again, it's easier to think of this as in dreams. We can easily see in a dream that the dream object is non-different from the mind that created it. But it's our mind which is creating all sensations of colour, sound and so on, all the sensory sensations. The official scientific story is that we're getting electrical signals delivered to our brain. That's all that's happening. That's the fundamental scientific understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, but all there is our senses, and the senses are what are called transducers. They take one form of energy and they turn it into electrical energy. So all we actually are on the receiving end of is electrical signals coming in through our optic nerve, our auditory nerve, our nerves in the body, through our nervous system. And lo and behold, the brain interprets these signals and creates the whole physical, phenomenal universe. That's the official scientific story. Correct me if I'm wrong. So even from a scientific point of view, we can say it's all mind created. The object and the mind are thus non-different. When either is not, both of them cease. Both of them are essenceless. Therefore, when they cease, there is peace. The knower of truth abandons them, though by this he loses nothing, for object and mind are but words without corresponding entities. What is the infinite consciousness. So what's being described is what I refer to as the cognitive process. It's the idea by which we believe we're experiencing things, inner things or outer things. When you stumble upon the nature of your own awareness, you've got a new possibility. That possibility is that you can step aside. You can step aside from the cognitive process. You can step aside from all notions of a world out there and a me here experiencing a world out there. You can step aside from it and you can rest in your pure awareness. And this is nothing abstract. It's simply the attention. It's the attention which is no longer being diverted, being hijacked, being made to identify with its notions. The attention simply examines itself. Turn the attention to itself and you've found something quite wonderful. And now you have an alternative to getting caught up in limited notions. You've got the alternative of realizing that what is infinite consciousness.